up, and welcome back to the PHNX Sun Devils show.
Hello.
Time for a little emergency podcast because guess what, Shane?
Pac-12 has fallen, broken his leg.
Pac-12,
Get up.
Pac-12 has fallen.
Life alert.
Ladies and gentlemen. No, so we were live earlier today, and Arizona State and Utah had applied for formal membership into the Big 12. And just a little bit ago, Pete Thamel hit us with the best tweet of the day. This is what it had to say, right? Sources: the Big 12's presidents and chancellors voted unanimously Friday night to admit Arizona State and Utah. They did the same last night for Arizona. All three on the way, pending a board of trustees vote in Utah to formalize their move. Arizona State is now officially a part of the Big 12. Big 12 play is going to start in the 2024-2025 season for the Sun Devils. Shane, at the start of the week, it was rumors, and here we are Friday.
Yeah.
And they're in the Big 12.
This morning, they were in the Pac-12. They were going to stay there because the Apple TV deal was there. They were reviewing it. They were prepared to sign.
You're right. You're right.
The Pac-12 presidents this morning were prepared to sign on the dotted line. Were they? No, they never were.
They weren't.
They never were.
No.
This has just been the writing on the wall was clear, especially after Colorado left.
Yeah.
And now here we are. And I expected this. This was, about 2 weeks ago, I was feeling like right before Pac-12 Media Day, I was feeling kind of a little icky. That I was like, Arizona might leave with Colorado, and we might get left behind. Luckily, that wasn't the case, and ASU was able to figure their shit out.
Yeah, absolutely. This vote now leaves the Big 12, or I guess moves the Big 12 up to 16 teams. Again, this is all pending on Utah's Board of Trustees, but it doesn't look like that is going to take too much time, and I would have a tough time believing it doesn't get through. So the Big 12 sitting at 16 teams, and we went over this a little bit earlier just in terms of when we were off camera. Some of the teams in the Big 12 that are just going to provide some fun matchups for Arizona State, both in football and in basketball. Basketball season is definitely going to be a fun time in the Big 12.
The scary time.
It is. It is truly going to be a gauntlet for Bobby Hurley and company. But look, I think at the end of the day, Arizona State fans can exhale, right? Because again, at the start of the week, like you said, it was rumors. And it looked at a certain point midweek like Arizona was going to leave on their own with Colorado, and then that would give the Big 12 an even 14, and then ASU would kind of be left there trying to figure out what to do. It looked like ASU might fumble this bag with reports that Michael Crow was, really clinging to the Pac-12 and trying to save it, but ultimately they got it done. They made the right move. I don't care if it comes at the cost of people saying that they had to be dragged screaming and kicking to get there, but they made it. They made it to the Big 12, so if you're an ASU fan, you can exhale. You don't have to worry because you're not a fan of Cal, Stanford, Washington State, or Oregon State. The Pac-4 that is left trying to figure out what to do. And Noah Sons brings it up. Territorial Cup still intact, right? Absolutely. The Territorial Cup is not going anywhere.
Toastry just got through the club and then looked down at the line and spit on all the people waiting outside of it.
And Washington State, Oregon State, Cal, Stanford, and then San Diego State is there as well.
God, what are we doing?
It's been an absolutely wild week.
You know what I'm glad is like the Pac-12 was dying. It was dead. It was gone. I'm glad we joined the most sane conference possible to geography. Like this is the only one that actually made sense.
Yeah,
like a little bit of sense. The West Virginia flight's gonna be weird.
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I've been to West Virginia. It's not great.
Well,
it's beautiful.
There are a ton of feral people there. That's where the Appalachian Mountains are.
Okay.
Yeah, a ton of them. UCF's gonna be a long flight.
What are some of the games, both in football and basketball? Looking at this conference as it is now, obviously.
Well, there's one obvious one that ASU fans should be very excited for, and that's going back to Allen Fieldhouse.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. That's the best win outside of the Des Cambridge half-court shot in the last 10 years in basketball.
Yeah.
It's just thumping Kansas at home.
Yeah. It's again, basketball season is going to be a lot of fun. ASU obviously going to get the chance to play Kansas Houston, TCU. There's a bunch of teams.
So scary.
That it's a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet. Baylor. And then you look at the football side of things, and I think there's some fun ones as well, specifically looking at where Brian Carrington coming from, right? An ASU coach now, a part of the football team coming over from TCU. TCU, obviously, a team that was just in the national championship game, so getting to play them in football in 2024, 2025 is certainly going to be exciting for BC. And then just the players in general, right? I think you see, and if you look at Arizona State's roster, there are a lot of kids from Texas. Mm-hmm. We've seen it already just in terms of the 2024 recruiting class, all of the kids that have come from Texas, and it's a little bit of a pipeline we've talked about just in terms of getting a small number of recruits. I think this really is going to open the floodgates for Texas recruits coming to Arizona State.
I would hope so. I mean, yeah, the valve's already turned to get them out and just bust that bitch wide open. Turn it all the way up. I can fire hose. It's just water your plants with a fire hose with these Texas recruits. That's the best place. And, you know, it does, like Vontez said it. At the end of the day, this move is sad. It's great to get out, but it's sad. It is. But trying to get past the sadness and just thinking about the future. And I do want to get something clear that really hasn't been talked about yet. You're not joining a rock-solid SEC conference. You're joining a Big 12 conference that almost went underwater a couple years ago. 10 years ago? Whenever it was. Like, this is a conference that had to add teams like Cincinnati and UCF, and, you know, because they lost teams like Oklahoma and Texas. So they're, like, greed might kill this conference too. You just never know. Luckily, they can get a long-term TV deal done. And at the end of the day, everybody say it with me, no more Pac-12 network. You get ESPN Plus. Woo!
You're actually going to be able to find Arizona State football games.
On a great streaming platform.
Yeah, it's not going to be impossible.
An elite one.
Look, this all really, I don't want to say it all went wrong with the LA schools like last year. I think the first time that everybody in terms of Pac-12 football was like, oh, wait, we could be affected by this. And then Colorado happened. Colorado was a weird situation for me just because when Dion didn't show up to Pac-12 Media Day, I felt like that was just a little shady is not the right word, but sketchy, just because obviously he had his foot surgery. Brother, there's 365 days in the year. I'm sure you could have figured out another day to have your foot surgery. Outside of Pac-12, the very first Pac-12 Media Day.
It was an emergency surgery. Like, I don't want to get into that.
I think it's sketchy.
Okay, I don't want to get into that. I get what you're saying. I don't want to get into that.
It's neither here nor there.
Well, it was quite literally he was not there.
No, you're right. He wasn't there at all.
Another thing Noah Sons brings up, the Big 12 schools have a way better game day atmosphere compared to the Pac fans. 100%. That is one thing that's going to be really exciting, and hopefully some of the atmospheres can be brought back to Tempe.
Yeah, what do you think that is going to do for Arizona State fans and just, I guess, the entire vibe of...
I can't wait for all of these questions to be asked once a week. Where's Ames, Iowa?
What do you think this is going to do when ASU fans get the chance to see what some of these Big 12 environments are like? Because it's certainly different than the Pac-12, because a lot of these schools in a lot of these towns, they absolutely love their college sports.
I think one underrated part about this is you're going to see more travel.
Yeah.
Because as I was kind of calling out Jed Fish for saying it's a new experience for their athletes, it's definitely a new experience for fans because especially, 20, 30 years graduated, you've seen the same teams over and over again. And on those, off chances, you got to play in Allen Fieldhouse or, you got to play against the Florida State or something in Florida, like you would travel to that. But now you get a completely different setting every single game next year in conference play. So that should be fun. And hopefully it ticks up the away attendance and the traveling fans because that's something that ASU's definitely struggled with.
Yeah.
And another thing, it's going to be a culture shock for the U of A fans who, call what's it called? They call it McHale 2 or North McHale.
Yeah, McHale North.
Yeah, McHale North. They call the T-Mobile Arena McHale North for the Pac-12 basketball tournament. We'll see what happens when they try to take over.
God, that tournament, the Big 12 the Big 12. Wow, it's going to take some time to get used to.
Yeah,
the Big 12 tournament is going to be a lot of fun.
Even if my dream scenario happens and Yormark does move it to Vegas, I still feel like they'd have trouble. being able to take it over.
There are just so many fun teams now. And I feel like, again, I know there's a lot of issues. People don't like the fact that the Pac-12, has kind of dissolved at this point. They don't like that some of the rivalries are going to be dead. But I think this is a what we've seen in college athletics over the last half decade already has kind of transcended history in what we've seen in terms of college sports with NIL, with the transfer portal, now conference realignment. Like, this is where we were always heading. I feel like once NIL and the transfer portal kind of really became a thing, because there is always more money to be made. And you touched on that yesterday.
Yeah, so this is also something that I want to do. We've been kind of learning as we go with Big 12 teams and schools and whatnot. We've been asking the chat, if you have any questions for us and you're a Big 12 fan about any of the new Pac-12 schools joining, feel free to drop it. We'll be happy to answer that. Another thing that's interesting is the climate. ASU is going to have to buckle up for some sweatier games.
Yeah.
A lot moister games. I know you love that word. But also, the schools in the Midwest, they got a little warm, but not as warm as it is here, man.
No, absolutely not.
So those games those conference games, in late September, mid-September could get warm.
Yeah.
Could get very, very warm.
Absolutely. I do want to pull up that tweet one more time for all the folks that are just now joining. Pete Thamel breaking the news just a little bit ago. Sources saying the Big 12's presidents and chancellors voted unanimously Friday night to admit Arizona State and Utah. They did the same last night for Arizona, all three on the way, pending a board of trustees vote in Utah to formalize their move. And what's funny is that tweet right there comes about a week from when the Pac-12 released this statement, their second to last tweet, saying the Pac-12 is comprised of world-leading universities and athletic programs who share a commitment to developing the next generation of leaders, supporting student-athletes, academic and athletic excellence, and broad-based athletic success. We remain committed to our shared values and to continuing to invest in our student-athletes. Today's decision by the University of Colorado has done nothing to disrupt that commitment. We are focused on concluding our media rights deal and securing our continued success and growth. Immediately following the conclusion of our media rights deal, we will embrace expansion opportunities and bring new fans, markets, excitement, and value to the Pac-12. That was tweeted by the Pac-12 on July 27th.
Oh, no. I got something better for you, man.
Oh, you have an even better one?
For you. How about, can I take you back to July 5th? 2022.
Take me back.
July 5th, 2022. What year is it?
2023?
It's 2023. This was over a year ago. The Pac-12 tweeted this.
Oh, goodness.
The Pac-12 Board of Directors met this morning and authorized the conference to immediately begin negotiations for its next media rights agreement. Did that work?
Nope.
No.
They tried. Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to say they tried. What George did was... I'm going to equate what George Kliavkoff did in terms of trying to get this deal done to me on a Saturday morning when I'm hungover and I tell myself I'm going to be productive. I lay in bed for about an hour. I look at the clock, and then I'm like, we're just going to do this tomorrow. And George Kliavkoff did that for so many days straight that the teams were like, we're going to go somewhere else while you figure this shit out. And now you're left with 4 schools, all 4 of which being the bottom-tier schools in the Pac-12, outside of what I'll say is an impressive-looking Oregon State football team this season. Everything else is so damn sorry. Cal Athletics is sorry. Stanford right now is a mess in terms of athletics. Washington State really has nothing to offer. Look, it's a weird time in college athletics, but I'm glad ASU and Michael Crow are moving with the times now, again, regardless of them having to be yanked there by themselves.
Yeah, and it's also a great time to be super chatting us.
Yes. Cardinal Sin 96 with a $10 super chat saying PHNX always putting out the quality content. Both Cardinals and Sun Devils. Feels a bit ironic that a week ago I got tickets to the ASU versus Oklahoma State game. Now knowing this will probably be a future rivalry. It is weird, man. It is a weird time in college sports. And to have I think Arizona State fans are in I'm going to say a lucky position, because not only are you not getting left behind, but you're bringing your rival with you.
Yeah.
And there's a couple schools that can't say that.
Dragging your rival with you.
Dragging your rival with you. Kidnapping your rival.
Yeah. You lassoed him up and tied him to the back of your horse, and he's dragging into town. He's dragging into Stillwater.
That's exactly what happened with
Sorry,
Michael
we're playing a lot
Crow
of Red Dead.
in Arizona State.
This is a fun question that we can totally get into because we totally have the knowledge for it. What is the rest of the Pac-12 going to do? Let's make our bold predictions.
Oh, okay. I'm absolutely down for
So,
that. Drop your bold predictions in the chat too.
Stanford, they're going independent.
I think probably independence is the best thing for Stanford.
I like this comment from Jamie though, saying I get this feeling that Cal and Stanford are going to the ACC at a huge discount, so they go to 16. Just wait for it, or just watch for it. Yeah.
I said this earlier. I think the ACC, it would be smart for them to pull some of these schools.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what the Mountain West would pay you. How much?
Yeah,
$4 million.
Yeah, you're not going to see, I don't think, any of these other schools go to the Mountain West unless they absolutely have to.
All right, I'm kind of sick of these U of A comments because we get it. Yeah, your president handled it better, whatever.
It is what it is.
But back the A-Ray says, listen, Mom's making us take you, so don't be weird in front of our new friends.
You're right.
I'm going to pick my nose in front of Oklahoma State.
Oh,
You're
you guys,
like
Blake dragging little brother from behind. Hey, man, it is what it is. We're there. We're absolutely there, and that means a lot.
I'll role play as little brother all you need me to, as long as it gets me a better meter right share.
Yeah, dude, I can't believe that so Stanford goes independent. What does Cal do? I know there was talks of Cal disbanding their athletics program in general. I just really don't see that being a thing.
There were not talks of it.
There were no people. I mean, when I say talks, there were people tweeting.
Oh, whoa!
Yeah. I don't see that as something that is actually going to happen.
Cal has good funding for sports.
Does Cal have the academics to go to the Ivy League?
No, I don't think. Maybe, but I don't think they would. I don't think they would consider it. They just don't strike me as a school that would consider it. I think that they could be poached by the ACC, or if the ACC even wants them, or they go to the Mountain West and just get enough money to have their football program survive.
Cal seems like such an ACC school.
Yeah, maybe they get rid of their football program.
That would be sad.
It would be sad.
I don't like Cal because they suck at everything, but it would be a real shame if one of the Pac-12 schools had to start dissolving some of their internal programs just to make ends meet. That would seriously be a really sad reality that we're living in.
There are some good comments. Glenn, one of our trusty listeners, not just a Big 12 guy, says we need to set up shop in Dallas and leave Carrington and Samp there full time in the offseason.
Just pitch some tents and let them go to work.
Let them go to work.
God, I really do think that it is going to make a dramatic difference for Kenny Dillingham and football recruiting. I think it's going to make a dramatic difference for Bobby Hurley in basketball recruiting as well, right? Because now you can pitch that you are in a conference that really is top tier when it comes to collegiate basketball. The Big 12 is the basketball conference at this point. I don't think there's any room for discussion. I know we were joking a little bit off camera, or I was joking with Sean, because it's now that there's only 4 major conferences. Someone called it the 4 peaks earlier, and I like it. So at this point, what you probably are looking at is at some point in the future, there is going to be another wave of this. There is going to be another conference that eventually gets dissolved. We're taking steps closer to college
football Pangea.
There it is. So I think the ACC
I'm going to make a shirt that says that.
I believe you.
Hey, chat, would you buy a shirt that says college football Pangea?
The ACC is next. I don't think it's anytime soon, but you never know with the way that college athletics have kind of gone. I wouldn't have told you 2 weeks ago that the Pac-12 would be entirely dead, but here we are with 4 schools left. I think what would send the Big 12 absolutely over the top, and it wouldn't do anything, I don't think, from a football perspective, but if the ACC were to disband and the Big 12 were to add Duke and UNC, man.
Well, UNC's football program has been...
Imagine the excitement, though, dude. That would be so much fun. That would be so much fun. Talk about a conference that would eat itself alive, but it would be so. It would be an absolute gauntlet. Can you imagine if Arizona State fans for a solid? They'd probably lose a lot, but if they had for like a 2-week span and they had 2 games, you're like, okay, this week you got to play Duke, Texas, UNC, and Houston.
Duke, Baylor, UNC, and Houston.
That would be fucking insane.
That would be terrible.
But it would be awesome. Like those games, ASU fans haven't got to watch those types of consistent, dominant teams year after year, right? Like there are times that we talked about it earlier on the show that the fans look forward to those LA school matchups. Why? Because USC, UCLA, they're big brands. The fans look forward to playing Oregon in Washington. Why? Because those are big brands. But really, outside of that, the Pac-12 didn't have a whole lot to offer. there are a lot of really big athletic brands in the Big 12 that I think really open arms to what Arizona State can be.
Yeah. You know what I think?
What do you think?
All this conference switching is dumb.
You think it's dumb?
Yeah, that's what Connor said, and I agree.
I know you think it's dumb.
I think it's all dumb. But that's how you got to survive.
Yeah, it's survival of the fittest.
I think having to eat every 5 hours is dumb, but I have to do it.
You have to do it to
Doesn't
survive.
that suck? Does that not suck?
Eating every 5 hours?
Yeah, like sometimes I just don't want to. I mean,
did you know that you have control over your body and you can not eat every 5 hours?
It's not healthy, and I feel terrible.
Well,
I gotta eat.
That means
and
you should eat.
I do enjoy eating, but sometimes it's just like.
I
You know what I'm excited for? Speaking of eating, we should every time we travel somewhere, we should try the barbecue.
What do you think the barbecue's like in Iowa?
Corny. It's all corn, right?
I'm not going to acknowledge you for a second. That was so stupid.
This is a safe space, guys. This is a safe space, Big 12 crowd. It's all corn, right? It's just like the movies. It's all corn.
It's not the Big 12 crowd now. This is home for us.
No, not yet. Because here in Arizona, it's all tumbleweeds. That's all it is.
Oh, and Cowboys.
Tumbleweeds and Cowboys. My dad has a spittoon that he spits in every night. Every single night. Smokes a cigar.
Oh,
spits.
Goodness.
Ba-ting!
Oh, we got another.
Dabo!
Dabo Sweeney in the chat. Oh, $2 super chat from Dabo Sweeney. Big 12 wants Louisville, Pitt, Virginia Tech, and Duke. That would be fun, man. That would be a lot of fun. At this point.
Then ASU would play in the same conference as my cousin.
That'd be fun.
The quarterback at Pitt.
That'd be fun. Game week, we could have him on the show and talk shit. That'd be a good time, man. Yeah. That'd be a good time. Him and Jalen Conyers just going back and forth. Jalen Conyers a Texas boy.
Yeah.
He gets to.
Dabo, everything good with you?
Yeah. Dabo, how's the ACC?
Yeah.
Are you okay? Hold up a 2 if the SEC is calling. Just let us know, okay? Blake in the chat. Yeah, Kansas City barbecue. Y'all is good. Yeah, that's the only part of Kansas City that I'm looking forward to for the Big 12 tournament. Aside from the actual games, I've been to Kansas City. Not a real fun place by any means, but you never know. Yeah, Glenn in the chat. Devils versus Devils. Hurley versus Duke. If the ACC were to disband and Duke were to go to the Big 12.
Can we stop the further expansion?
No, because it's we're here. We're here. This is college athletics now. It is.
I know, but let's just talk about the expansion as it is right now. We don't have to do this. It's like going into somebody's house and being like, you know what, an ottoman would look good right there. Like, don't do that.
You're right. That is exactly what it is.
That.
Okay, then I'll ask the homeowner. All the Big 12 fans in here, who do you guys want next? Because this is not the end.
Do you guys even want us?
Yeah. Do you want an ottoman? Like
somebody said this show reminds them of Beavis and Butthead, and now I can't get that out of my head.
Wait, who's Beavis?
It doesn't matter. They're both so stupid.
You should have seen the Hot or Not earlier. Oh, goodness. Oh, we got Ben Hogan Blades back in the chat.
Mark has basically already hinted at the conference tournament being in Vegas in rotation. Or he doesn't even say Vegas. He just says
I think that was just you wanting it to be in Vegas.
Yeah.
So
no more Holiday Bowl. Aw.
Guys, again, Arizona State voted unanimously into the Big 12 by presidents and chancellors a little bit earlier this evening. It's exciting. It's exciting time to be an Arizona State fan, a Utah fan, an Arizona fan, and honestly a Big 12 fan. Because like you said earlier, there was a real point where it wasn't looking too good for the Big 12 when they lost Texas, when they lost Oklahoma, and now it's a juiced conference. And by juiced, I mean it's not the ACC, which is saying something. Excuse me. So like,
excuse.
Thank you. I appreciate the excuse. It's just a fun time, man. It's a fun time. And
they're already looking at going to 18.
The Big 12 is?
Yeah.
Who says this? Jason Shearer?
It's not likely going to be quick, but he's going to get the go-ahead to look to go to 18.
Okay,
do you guys want 18, Big 12 crowd?
Do you want 18? And this is another thing. Do you pull from the leftovers in the Pac-12, or do you do something different? Or do you start your poaching of the ACC?
I don't know.
Florida State? Do I hear Florida State? Anybody? Florida
Really?
State? Yeah, Florida State's. I've been a big
Florida State and UCF rivalry.
Florida State is just, it fits the vibe now of the Big 12.
Does it?
Yes, it does. More so than it does any of the others. You don't think so? I think Florida State and Tallahassee, it fits the vibe of the Big 12, but that might just
Tallahassee's not a Big 12. I don't know. Tempe's not a Big 12 town either, but
Kelly Parks, I will take San Antonio over El Paso any day.
Big 12 is also a baseball conference, Blake says. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, Jordan Ham said this earlier. He said this to me at fall camp earlier in the week, and he's like, if you're going to use this, make sure you bring me up. So, Jordan Ham, this is for you, okay? In terms of the way we look at this, a lot of people look at conference realignment and ASU specifically to the Big 12 as fun for basketball. For football, it's going to be interesting in terms of the games and recruiting, but Arizona State has a real shot to make some noise in terms of women's basketball and in terms of softball, because both the conference is wide open when it comes to those two sports. I think currently Arizona women's basketball is certainly going to be a tough program to stop. I know Baylor years ago was a top-tier team as well. But in terms of ASU softball, you look at these teams that are coming from the Pac-12 and what they've been able to do in non-revenue sports, right? Swim and dive, Arizona State is one of the best. In terms of wrestling, Arizona State is one of the best. Softball was just a few years removed from hosting a regional and playing in a super regional. This is definitely a time for some of those sports, I think, to make some noise, and I think that's where they can grow to.
Yo,
What?
Ben Hogan Blades brings it up. Be real, guys. You guys are just excited about ASU and Oklahoma State combining to make a golf program powerhouse conference.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Craig in the chat, our very own Craig Morgan, bringing up all of the bowl affiliations that the Big 12 has right now. One, if selected, obviously college football playoff, but two, the Valero Alamo Bowl versus the Pac-12 right now. The Pop-Tarts Bowl versus the ACC. The Tax Act Texas Bowl versus the SEC. That's it.
Why'd you have to say it like that?
Because, come on.
Because, come on, dude.
The AutoZone Liberty Bowl versus
AutoZone
the
Liberty Bowl.
SEC. The Guaranteed Rate Bowl, which is one of my favorite bowls, versus the Big Ten. And the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl versus the Pac-12. Not mentioned, the Hell versus Heaven Cheez-It Bowl.
All right, this is what we're gonna do, because somebody brought it up in the chat. I think it was Cardinal Sin talking about the Big 12 being split into East and West divisions. So you and me right now, we're gonna split the 16 teams. Okay.
So a lot of what people are bringing up though is pods.
Okay.
Which what they do for basketball.
To have what? Well, this
Four?
would be four team pods.
Yeah, but somebody in the
So what would you like to see?
a Big 12er said that the division's already dead. I don't know.
Nah.
Man.
What would you like to see?
I like the idea of pods. I like anything that groups
As opposed to divisions.
groups teams that are close to each other together.
So 4 pods, not 2 divisions.
Sure.
Okay, so let's do the pods then. What we got? You can't do East, West. Let's just do divisions.
Okay, we can do divisions.
Okay. ASU.
Astro Magnus. I love the Alamo Bowl. Good Astro. I'm glad you do. I'm glad. You know one of the best things about life is
What?
when somebody loves something.
When somebody loves something?
I just like when somebody enjoys life.
I mean, that's a good thing.
And I want to enjoy something as much as Astro Magnus enjoys the Alamo Bowl.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm sure there are things.
Close.
I'm sure there are things
Close.
that you enjoy.
The Pop-Tarts Bowl is a thing, Cardinal Sim.
All right, so we've got ASU and U of A in the West. What other programs are in the West?
BYU.
Okay. BYU, Utah.
Colorado.
Yeah, got Colorado. Let's go TCU. TCU and Texas Tech, right?
TCU, Texas Tech, and then
Oklahoma State. Do you go Oklahoma State?
Do you go Oklahoma State or do you go Kansas State and Kansas?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they would only need one more. They wouldn't be able to do if they were doing it, splitting it evenly.
Then take
in
TCU
8.
out. Kansas State's closer.
So Kansas State and Kansas.
Yeah.
Kansas.
No, I don't know about. Yeah, they got to be
Let's just try
together.
it. We're not perfect. We're not perfect here.
I'm
Not
not
pretending to be
perfect.
perfect. I know you're not perfect.
You
And
know
then, huh?
You know that?
Yeah, I know you're not perfect. So UCF, Iowa, Iowa State.
No Iowa.
No Iowa.
Iowa's in the Big Ten.
Oh yeah, you're right. Iowa State.
Cincinnati, West Virginia, Houston, Baylor, Kansas. Or do we put Kansas in the West?
We put Kansas in the
Okay,
West.
then Oklahoma State. There you go.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're missing 2.
Tornadoes Don't Stop Spinning says, hey, ASU fans, you can't openly smoke weed in Big 12 stadiums. Thank you for the reminder.
I forgot. We're
appreciate
missing
that.
West Virginia. I forgot.
Ooh, the Riverwalk. Yeah, Astro, you know what? I'm the Alamo Bowl's growing on me.
All right, let's play a game.
The Alamo Bowl's growing on me, Astro.
Play a game with me. Oh, wait, no, it's TCU. Okay, so this is what it would be. The East Division would be UCF, Cincy, Iowa State, Houston, Baylor, Oklahoma State, West Virginia, and TCU. And in the West, it would be Arizona State, U of A, Colorado, BYU, Utah, Kansas State, Texas Tech, Kansas.
Yay.
Does ASU have the second best football program in that West Division?
Sorry, I was reading more about the Alamo Bowl.
I think it does. Outside of Utah?
I don't know if you can say that right now.
BYU? Does BYU have a better?
No, you have to just wait. You got to wait and see.
I don't like waiting and seeing.
Well,
I wish they were playing in the Big 12 now.
Hey, Connor, stop talking about the Alamo Bowl.
Okay,
like that.
okay. Before
the river's clean.
Before we move on, I am curious into.
Oh, breaking news! The Pac-12 just added Portland Bible College.
Dear God.
According to Watchman
and Chandler
WB.
High School, and so in Saguaro as well. What are some Pac-12 traditions, or just Pac-12?
Oh no, we're not doing this right now.
What? I know we're gonna have a separate show, but I'm just
milk that for next week.
We will milk it next week, guys. So tune in next week. But like, what is just something that you're gonna miss with the Pac-12 really dissolving? And no, you can't say Vegas.
Calling everything the Conference of Champions. There you go.
Calling everything the Conference of Champions?
Yeah, Texas Tech also has a pretty good football team. I think that was a pretty asinine statement to say they had the second best team in that division right now.
Was it?
They went 3-9 last year, Anthony. Arizona State University went 3-9 last year.
This is not your mother's Arizona State team. They're better.
Yeah. Is Sparky?
Kenny is Dillingham-ing.
Is Sparky still going to step on buses? Yeah, he's got to.
Oh, he's absolutely stepping. No, he's going to step on wagons. No, semi-trucks. Semi-trucks that are traveling through truck stops? Yeah. Absolutely. I think
Pac-12 After Dark?
Yeah,
no longer Pac-12 After Dark. Big 12 After Dark, sponsored by Love's Truck Stop.
Is there a beef jerky brand that can maybe sponsor that?
What's the one with the Sasquatch? Lynx?
There it is. Yeah.
Is that Lynx?
Sounds about right. I don't know how many different brands there are that sell beef jerky.
Yeah, Blake bringing it up. Has anybody checked on Bill Walton? Where does Bill go?
Somebody tweeted that Bill Walton was in a therapy session after he heard that the Conference of Champions was disbanding.
Let's actually talk seriously about Pac-12 After Dark.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Because it is fun, but I don't really think it's necessarily going anywhere for us. Like the games might start a little bit earlier, but it's still going to be an 8:30 football game, 7:30 football game. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's going to be. I mean,
we're just going to call it Big 12 After Dark. It's fine.
Yeah, but it's not going to hit the same. It's not going to hit the same at all. What?
Wow.
What?
Tornadoes Don't Stop Spinning just said Shane looks like the guy that has a really complicated Starbucks order. I hate him, LOL.
Wow.
Joke's on you, Tornadoes That Don't Stop Spinning. I get a black cold brew. That's it.
Yeah, Gary Chadwick answering our question. Jack Links. There we go.
Links.
Now we know. LTC. Now he'll step on cans of Mountain Dew. That would be awesome. That would be absolutely awesome. Look, it's going to be fun. I don't think Pac-12 After Dark, Bill Walton, Conference of Champions, the shitty refs in the Pac-12, they're all things that ASU fans and everybody's going to get a taste of for one final season. And then, it's on to greener pastures, bigger and better things for Arizona State. And I think it's going to wipe the slate clean. I think there are a lot of perceptions about Arizona State athletics and the coaches and everything that happened with the football program with Ray and Herm.
What are we doing?
What?
Sheer tweeted, there's also a real chance that the two editions would be basketball only. Your mark is going for the kill. Gonzaga and UConn would be the basketball editions, and there have been discussions the last 48 hours to do so. Lots of work to get to that, though. There's no way that UConn joins without football, right?
They just won the Natty. If there was going to be a team to do it.
What are we doing?
I mean, there's your basketball conference. And not to mention, you get Bobby Hurley and Dan Hurley going at each other in conference play. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Bobby would quit because they don't want to play each other.
Look, I'm fast forwarding to 2028. We're in Kansas City. We're in Kansas City, Missouri on night 4 of the Big 12 tournament because we have to have 4 nights because there's 47 teams in this conference. And your Big 12 championship game is Dan Hurley's UConn versus Arizona State Sun Devils. Are you fucking kidding me?
No.
Give me that.
No.
That fires me up. to have that idea of Dan Hurley and Bobby Hurley in the same
Can I ask you a
conference.
question? How the hell is Oregon State not in this conference with Buc-ee's?
Because they don't have anything
With
to offer.
Buc-ee's as a sponsor, the Beaver at Buc-ee's?
They don't have anything to
Come
offer,
on.
man. They don't have anything to offer. It is what it is.
What did I do to you, Tornadoes? You just said I look like I live trash in your car.
Wait, like that you leave trash in my car?
In your car.
Wait. Where is that comment? I have to see it.
It's real.
Shane, I bet you leave trash in Anthony's
Have I ever
car.
left trash in your car?
I don't know if you've ever been in my car.
Yeah, I have.
Have you?
You don't remember that. That's crazy.
When were you in my
That
car?
was an intimate experience.
Whoa.
You drove us to an ASU basketball game.
Did I? Shane, I bet you dip Oreos in water, you bum.
Yeah?
Holy
Okay.
shit.
Tornadoes, you want to do this right now? You want to do this right now? Dust Bowl.
Oh my gosh. Tornadoes has got some creativity
Tornadoes, you look like you grow crops. I bet you have a plentiful livestock.
Oh my gosh. This is something. This is
I
what you
bet
have
you
to look
put
forward
diesel
to.
in a Honda Accord. Tornadoes. Okay.
This is what you
Really
have to
hurt my
look forward
feelings.
to in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Tornadoes, I need you to be back every single day
I
at 2
appreciate
p.m.
this.
Oh, my goodness. Ben in the chat. Do you guys do shots on post-game shows? This could be the most Big 12 follow. Yes,
Oh,
we have actually
do.
done it.
We
Yes, we have done shots.
We have done shots on our post-game shows.
Oh, my goodness.
Our player of the game award is called Bottle Service. So
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. May in the chat, I'd like to see both Arizona and Arizona State play Jackson State to see how they'd fare against the Tigers the same way NDSU did.
May's been commenting about Jackson State this entire time.
Oh, my God. Glenn Shane eats paint chips.
What are we doing?
When did this
I don't
turn
know.
into a Shane
I don't know.
roast?
I don't know. I have no idea. What are we doing?
Tornadoes. I bet Shane drives a Prius and double parks it. This isn't even
That's a crazy thing.
This isn't even a Big 12 podcast. This is now just a roast
Yeah.
that
Hey,
Shane even
I
by
have an
roast.
idea for everyone.
Oh, boy.
Oh, God.
No, hit the like button.
Oh.
Yeah, hit the
There's
like button.
like 250
Hey.
more people watching than likes.
Everybody go to my Twitter at Shane Deef and say something nice to me.
Or just-
something mean.
just leave
You know-
a
hey, you know
tornadoes
what?
like comment.
You know what? Scratch that. Go to my Twitter at Shane Deef and just berate me.
Come up with the most creative random shit you can possibly think of and throw it on Shane's Twitter. Leave a like. Shane, like I said earlier, we started the week. It was rumors. We're ending the week, and Arizona State has been admitted into the Big 12. Big 12 play for the Sun Devils starts in the 2024-2025 season. Guys, if you're new here, we do this every single day. We're talking about Arizona State. There it is. There's Saul. Oh, this way. There it is. Join us and follow us at PHNX_Sun
done?
Devils. Hey, you got more?
I got more in me.
Okay, let's see it then.
I'm
Let's see
kidding.
it.
I'm
Show me
just
what you
kidding.
got.
We got cornhole to play.
We do have
We're here
cornhole
at the
to
lovely,
play, guys.
lovely BetMGM Sportsbook.
Subscribe to PHNX.
Yep.
Do it, guys. PHNX Sports. Again, follow us at PHNX_Sun Devils. You can follow me at Anthony_Totri. You could follow Shane Deef over at Shane Deef.
Yep.
That's you don't have another one?
uh,
Double parking a Prius, as always?
Eating paint chips, leaving trash in your car, having complicated Starbucks orders, and being the biggest pokey in the Big 12.
Oh, my
always.
goodness. Guys, if anything crazy happens over the weekend, I'll be here. He won't be. He's busy eating paint chips over
Yeah,
the weekend.
we got a super chat from Cardinal Sin saying, Shane, $5 super chat. Thank you, Cardinal Sin. We appreciate it. Saying Shane is PHNX's brand of Jarrett Carlin, and I'm all here for it.
Jarrett Carlin, good guy.
I have gotten that before.
I love Jarrett. Guys, again, anything crazy happens as it relates to Arizona State, we're the one-stop shop for it. If not, we'll see you Monday at 2 p.m. For now, though, welcome to the Big 12.